Let's get to the good news here. And the good news is that I feel like we got the left in meltdown here. I feel like there is this concept that we were in this horrible news cycle, all thanks to the shooting in Minneapolis and all the chaos is going on. The left has momentum. They've even trotted out. They've rolled Barack Obama away from his video games to be able to try to pitch in here. So he's weighing in and he's saying we need to have more protests. First of all, by the way, this person, Alex Pretti, who we talked all about yesterday, we'll talk more about him today, who was shot and killed by ICE in Minneapolis. He was not a protester. He showed up to interfere with a law enforcement operation, and he did so while he was not engaged in any sort of a protest. He did so armed and in multiple magazines. So obviously this guy was trying to cause problems, and he did cause problems, caused a lot of problems. And he was a martyr. That was what he was trying to do, either subconsciously or consciously, whatever it was. He knew that he could have been martyred that day. That's the facts. It's what it is. And I think anyone who's paying attention knows that because the left sees this as a political opportunity. This is an opportunity for them to try to gain ground. But I think a lot of people see through this, including the president of the United States. And I think that some of the absurdity that's come out of this, it's revealed a lot of the absurdities that we saw. Today, I think, is Holocaust Remembrance Day, by the way. And I was thinking about that clip I played yesterday of Tampoon Timmy Walz suggesting that what's going on with ICE deporting illegal aliens is the same as children being slaughtered because they were Jewish in the Holocaust. It's just a good thing because clearly Timmy Walz needs some Holocaust Remembrance Day. We should do this one in his honor entirely. But I think the fact that the left has exposed themselves as being so absurd during all this, I think it's going to age poorly. They think they've got us on the run here. They think this is a positive news cycle. And maybe it is momentarily. But I think when the dust settles, people are going to realize that the hysteria has hit a new level over over the protection of illegal aliens and criminals. Tim Walz acting as though Donald Trump is Hitler. We had Jacob Frey acting as though it's the Gestapo coming into Minneapolis. We had Rick Wilson, who is a Never Trump, formerly Republican commentator who is involved with the Lincoln Project. I can't even play this clip because I guess the powers that be have not sanctioned it. I can't play the clip? Really? Wow. Okay, I will play this clip momentarily. I'll confer with the staff before I do. But he's saying that Stephen Miller needs to be executed. He's calling for execution. I think when people start thinking about, well, what are these guys doing? They're trying to enforce our immigration laws. I mean, they're not that unreasonable. And then Trump is doing something incredibly clever, which is he's calling all of them. So he calls Tampoon Timmy Walz, and Timmy Walz comes out and says, yeah, I think we're mostly on the same page. We had a pretty good talk. It was productive. And even Jacob Frey, the Minneapolis mayor, had a conversation with Donald Trump. And Trump will disarm you with his charm. He's incredibly charming if you get to meet him in person. And very likable. And so you get to the phone with these people, and then all of a sudden it's going to become a lot harder for them to start calling them Nazis. And it's also very difficult to go out and say to all of your supporters, all of your constituents, that Trump is a Nazi, Himmler is here, Goebbels is here. They're all here trying to get us. They're going to take all the Somalis, going to round them up into concentration camps. They'll call them Leering centers, but they're not. But also we had a really productive talk with Hitler and with Goebbels. Like, they were really good on the phone and listened to everything I had to say. And I think we could end up getting some sort of, this could net out in a way that does have some common sense to it. I'm going to put this clip of Jacob Frey, who went on CNN. This was on CNN. This was on the Kara Swisher podcast. She's famous from yesterday. I played the clip of her and Scott Galloway, the New York University business professor who was slobbering all over Gavin Newsom. I played that clip yesterday, and she was seen chuckling along. So Jacob Frey goes on her podcast, or Frey, whatever it is. Listen to this clip. Play cut 7, please, guys.
So the fraud is real. Mm-hmm. The fraud that took place here is very real. And when you commit fraud, you get investigated, you get charged, you get prosecuted, you get arrested, and you go to jail. As an individual, you go to jail as an individual. The whole community, however, that you are part of, and the whole city that you live in, is not held responsible. The whole state you live in is not held responsible. That's the way things work in Minnesota. That's the way things work in the United States of America, because everybody has due process and habeas corpus rights.
You think she was shocked by that? I bet she was completely shocked by that, floored by that. That this is not based on nothing. Remember, Tampoon Timmy said yesterday that it is based on nothing that Trump is trying to enforce the laws here. There's a really important clip that from Todd Blanche, who's on Trump's legal team, that I highlighted on my account at X the Everything app, where he made an interesting point on TV, which I thought was really important. That he said, we deport 10 times the number of illegal aliens out of Texas than we do out of Minneapolis. Why do you hear nothing out of Texas? Because in Texas, we have the cooperation and support of local law enforcement so that we can do those operations safely. But in Minneapolis, you got a different approach. And now Jacob Frey actually talking some common sense there, that this was not based on nothing. This was based on some legitimate fraud, and we're probably better off rooting it out. Because I'll tell you, it's making a lot of the Democrats who run that city and that state look bad. And I think they understand as time goes on, as this news cycle fades away for whatever reason, a lot of the memory is going to still be the fraud and the effort, the institutional left, well-funded, and I'll give you the names of some of the funders momentarily. They wanted the chaos. They wanted ICE agents to feel targeted. And that, I don't think that's going to age well. The other take that we're seeing is that maybe we should have some sort of an economic boycott of Minneapolis. Let's play cut 4, please. This is actor Ed Norton.
We have, extrajudicial assaults on Americans and humans going on a daily basis now. And it's not okay. And even though all people kind of have to put one foot in front of the other and deal with the demands of the day, we cannot act like this is not happening. I think what they're doing in Minnesota with the strike needs to expand. I think we should be talking about a national general economic strike until this is over and stopped.
So we should devastate small businesses. We should take food out of the mouths of the poor and working class. We should make it so that it's toxic to come to Minnesota and do any sort of entrepreneurialism and to try to grow the wealth pie for the people in that state who need money. And you know why we should do that? Because he was really good in Fight Club 25 years ago, Ed Norton. It's a good movie. It's a really good movie. I like that movie. All right. That's a good start to the show. That's the opening.